Hey party people, it's your girl Celeste. I'm here with my favorite Frida Kahlo mug that I bought for myself for Christmas. What of it? Today I wanted to talk about the new moon in Aquarius, and I don't usually do videos on Sundays, especially because I just like to spend the day just like chilling, doing what I need to, and especially being with my family. But I've been feeling a bit of a nudge, so I wanted to, while the moon energy is still fresh. So this last new moon that just happened yesterday, like last night, depending on where you are in the world, happened in the sign of Aquarius. So this is the sign of revolution, intuitive insight, humanitarianism, group work, like kind of like tribe energy, like finding your tribe, finding your group of belonging, but especially especially innovation and revolution and like those types of words. So the last new moon that just happened yesterday was in the sign of Aquarius. And when a new moon happens, it means that the sun and the moon are right beside each other. Like we call that a conjunction in astrology. So the sun and the moon are conjunct. And then the sun is like shining on the moon, right? But you can't really see that side of the moon because the sun is like shining and blocking it, whatever. So from the perspective of the earth, which is like, like way over here, it looks like the moon over here on this side. It looks like it's like, dark or empty or void. And so that's the symbolism of the new moon. It's like an emptiness or like a void or like a hollow, a place to plant seeds. The symbolism of the new moon is where we're initiating something new. We're planting seeds for something new that we want to grow. So this specific last new moon, I think, was really significant because Saturn was conjunct Venus in Aquarius, and Pluto right now is at the last degrees of Capricorn, so it's just about to move into Aquarius. And depending where Pluto is in your own chart, like wherever Capricorn is, you're probably feeling this. Like, so for example, if you have Pluto in your 6th house, like Pluto is tying up the loose ends of its work in Capricorn, getting ready to move into Aquarius. So for example, if you had Pluto in the 6th house, you're probably having some like big health things happening right now, or like if you have Pluto in your 7th house, like I do, you probably have some big like relationship things happening. And this is Pluto tying up the loose ends in Capricorn before it makes its ingress into Aquarius, which is going to happen in March. So it's very soon. And it's a big deal when Pluto moves into a new sign because in astrology, this marks the beginning of a new generation. So for example, people are grouped by generation. So me, for example, I am the Pluto in Scorpio generation. And so this so the generational energy that these souls that have come into the earth when Pluto's in that sign, it kind of talks about what that generation is about, like what their movement is towards. That's a story for another day. But anyways, this is a big deal because Pluto is just about to move into Aquarius, where Saturn, the planet of crystallization, is in right now. And Saturn and Venus right now, they're in Aquarius. They're in a conjunction, like I said. So that means that they're like really, really close. They're sharing energy, essentially. This is really important because Saturn and Venus, the conjunction that they are making is a new phase conjunction. So what that means is that what they're doing right now, whatever is happening right now, it's initiating a new phase. And that phase is going to continue on, especially as Pluto makes its move into Aquarius. So, I mean, that's a lot of astrological, like mumbo jumbo, a lot of like talk, whatever. But it's like the very bottom line is, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for you? How can we use this energy? What does this mean for our life, right? So Saturn specifically, conjunct Venus in Aquarius, talks about you receiving insights that help you to understand the value of your contribution because of your uniqueness. So this Venus sign, it talks about a couple things. One of the things that it talks about is our values, our sense of self-worth. So with Saturn right beside Venus in Aquarius, we're talking about we're being given an opportunity to receive insights that will help us to understand the value of your contribution because of your uniqueness, because of your quirks, because of your unique perspective, because of your history and the experience and the life happenings that you bring along with that, because of the way that you look at life. You contribute to your world, to your community at large, in a way, in a specific way, in a unique way, because of all of those things, which are different for all of us, right? And so this energy, this Aquarian energy, and it's like, I always say in my readings to people that, like, if you look at the glyph for Aquarius, it's like two lightning bolts, one on top of the other. And that's really like how the Aquarian energy works. It's not linear. It's kind of like up and down, and it's very erratic, and it's like a lightning bolt. Like it strikes, and you don't know where it will strike, and you don't know when the next one is coming. So it's like a bolt of insight, or of intuition, or of like a new diagonal way of looking at things that you never had before, where you realize, oh, this is actually like, this is my gold. This is my gold. This is this contribution that I'm making, like my uniqueness. It is gold because it's unique, because other people don't have the same things that I have to contribute. So that's really beautiful, because those different things, they also have the potential to create a type of division, right? But this energy, this Saturn and Venus in Aquarius energy, is really allowing us to see, no, it doesn't have to create a division. This can actually be a huge support to the movement of the things that I'm involved in, because I have this uniqueness about me. This energy, because Venus also has to do with relationships, is connected to the Libra archetype in the 7th house. So this conjunction, the Saturn-Venus in Aquarius energy, also helps us to get an understanding of where we stand relationally, and where the inability of others to value your individuality is limiting you. So that's relationships, where you kind of feel a little bit like, where you feel yourself kind of recoiling sometimes, or interactions where you feel yourself recoiling sometimes, or, even asking, am I being weird right now? Do I need to stop being weird? And I mean, if it's creepy weird, like, yeah, you probably, you probably should stop that, whatever, right? But, the inner tendency that we have sometimes to recoil at expressing, like, things that maybe move a little bit away from convention. And we all have relationships where, we see the butting up of tradition and innovation. And this is a natural cycle in history. This always happens. And then eventually the innovation becomes the tradition, and then a new angle of innovation comes, right? And it repeats, right? But when you are at the point of innovation, and you are feeling that, like, friction and that limitation, like, it's really challenging, especially in relationships, right? It's like where you really care about the person, or you really care about the relationship, or you've had history in that relationship, and you want to hold on to it, and you want to cling to it, or you want it to be a certain way because it always has been that way. But your accepting of that certain way creates limitations in your ability to be yourself, and your ability to express what you really think and how you really feel about things, and just to, like, to be free to move in a way where you're not blocking yourself, and you're not imposing other people's values onto yourself, because we all have like sacred values, and we all have different things that we're carrying, and we're not all able to see the value in everybody else's things, which is unfortunate, and hopefully, I think that we're moving towards, like a broader like acceptance, a broader ability to view the value of everything, but not everybody's there, and whatever. I mean, that's what it is. It's okay. However, this new moon is helping you to understand where in relationships there is an inability of others to value your individuality and how that is limiting you. And that doesn't necessarily mean, that we need to just like pitch those relationships or that they're no good, but it means that we need to establish a sense of awareness, so that we recognize when we are getting feedback from the outside that says this weirdness isn't okay, this weirdness isn't okay. And we can, instead of recoiling or suppressing our individuality and like these strokes of Aquarian insight, which help innovation, it helps us, instead of recoiling or suppressing, it helps us to just like stand in our strength and stand in our knowing of our own acceptability, that we can express those things. And it's like, if somebody has a problem with that, it's like my husband always says, that's a you problem. So we can know what is a me problem and what is a them problem. And this Saturnian energy, like Saturn is really about like the crystallization, right? And so this is a beautiful time and a beautiful energy where we can understand our uniqueness, and then we can like own it and we can hone it. So we can own it and hone it. And we can crystallize those things so that we can walk in confidence, walk in strength, and out of that confidence and strength, we can contribute to the growth of humanity and to the growth of society and to the growth of whatever is important to you, to the moving forward of it. And the last thing this new moon energy is doing is it's helping us to build new structures in our life that acknowledges our worth. Because again, Venus talks about our own worth, the way that we see value and the way that we find values and value and the way that we understand ourselves to be valuable. And Saturn here is about like the crystallization. It's about the structures that we built in our life the structures that we build in our lives to hold like the things that are most important to us. And that is very abstract. So for example, we have an idea to like that we want to teach things, right? So Saturn would be the program that we build so that we can teach the things, right? So Saturn is about the structures and about the crystallization of things, like bringing them into form, bringing them into materialization, like bringing them from like up here and in here into the 3D. Like that's the Saturn work. That's like, that's the Saturn work. I always say that it's the chipping away every day at the old block. It's like, it's the work that we do to bring things into the material world. And so this new moon is helping us to build new structures in our life that acknowledge our worth. And so, for example, and this is relative to our uniqueness, right? So for example, maybe you're like, you know what? Actually, I am damn good at art, and I'm going to make more time in my life to do art because I enjoy it and I think that art is valuable, and that's why I'm going to do it. And so you build a new structure. Maybe you set aside 1 or 2 days a week and an hour on each of those days so that you can work on artwork, right? Or maybe you decide that you really like speaking, you really like communicating, and you decide to start contributing more to Facebook groups or to start sharing more on your own Facebook. Or maybe you decide that what you have to share, like the uniqueness or the gift that you are bringing is writing, so you make more time to write. Or maybe it's cooking, so you make more time to cook and you go out and buy more ingredients and you build structures. You build structures in your life that support the acknowledgement of your worth. Right? And that might also mean like taking away some structures, right? Or shifting some structures, being like, the way that my days have been going lately, the way that my days have been going lately are not really conducive to my wellness. And I am worthy of wellness. Like I'm worthy of a hot cup of coffee and a hot meal where people aren't pulling at me all the time. And so I rearrange my schedule so that I can just like, eat breakfast by myself, like maybe get up before my kids, whatever. And that's personal, because that's one of my own things. And so, so this new moon in Aquarius is a big one, and it's an important one. And I just want to really encourage you to think about where it is that you have big ideas in your life, or where it is that you have, maybe even crazy ideas. And that saying like well-behaved women never make history. And I think that that is a really good way to describe this Aquarian energy, because it always butts up against the established. Like that is the purpose of the Uranus energy. And Uranus is the planet that's associated with the Aquarius constellation. That's the purpose of it, that it fractures established patterns in order to bring in innovation, right? And so it's like you also have to accept that in bringing in the innovation and in bringing in the big and new and maybe out there ideas that you have, there's likely going to be some pushback, right? And this energy is actually associated with trauma, because it's like somebody comes in with an energy that's different, and the response of the tradition that they meet is like rejection, pushback, right? And then time goes on and we see that actually what this person was bringing, like the projects that they had in them, the contributions that they had, were actually really supportive of the innovation and the growth and the forward movement. So it's like that's the balance between innovation, tradition, and we need both. So yeah. So I guess just like my closing words are that I really want to encourage you, whatever big projects that you have in your heart, whatever big things you've been dreaming up, whatever small things you've been dreaming up, whatever things that you're like, that's too much. I don't think I can. It's too out there. It's a little bit weird. Nobody's ever really done it like that. We don't usually do it like that. That's a big like Saturn versus Uranus energy. Like we don't usually do it like that. So whatever things that you have, new ideas that you have, I encourage you to just to bring them close and shine your inner light on them, warm them up a little bit. And you were created to help the world grow and change. And what you have inside of you is beautiful and powerful, and not everybody will be able to see it all the time. And that doesn't diminish its value or its power. And this is a beautiful energy for you to really take hold of that, to really plant it, and then to nourish the ground around it, right? By creating time, creating space, building structures that will help it to grow, right? I'm your girl Celeste, coming at you again with my favorite Frida Kahlo mug that I bought for myself for Christmas. I'm off to watch Teen Mom, or maybe to be productive. I don't know. We'll see. Wishing you a good day and a beautiful, beautiful, powerful new moon. And if you are interested in booking an astrology reading with me, you can feel free to contact me through the message button on my screen, or you can email me info@thatzoilife. That's info@thatzoilife.com. And I look forward to working with you.